here with Ricky today from Sync.Money. Ricky, you've just had some money come in as well to help develop your products. Perhaps you could say a few words about how Sync.Money came about and how you got into startups a little bit.
So actually, funny enough, startups, I started to hear that word, back in 2012. And I think the first one was TransferWise. I even met them at the little Silicon Roundabout jobs fair they do in November. And and it was like a startup. You know, you always wonder, do you pay at the end of the month? Because London's expensive, you know.
Tell me a little bit about the UX design, because we're hearing a lot about, clicks to open an account, clicks to get into an account. Have you had to wrestle with that problem as well?
So Andy, I can say one thing. I'm a product designer's background. So, I've designed and architected 4 of the major mobile banking apps in the UK, 1 in Europe. And I was part of that initial founding team at Revolut, where I designed all that beautiful easiness of a challenger bank, right?
Revolut's card as well.
The packaging, the card, absolutely everything. Partly why I've gone away from developing that gamified type of packaging, because you have to, yes, it's a bit more costly than sending your card on a letter. But let's be honest, Andy, if you go and buy a £3,000 laptop, MacBook in an Apple store, do you want to open it in a paper bag, or do you want to open it in a beautiful packaging, make your money worth? So partly why we've gone down the route of, feeling that you've bought some Calvin Klein's or Victoria's Secret, where it's sexy, it's got a beautiful bag that you can use for your passport, for traveling, for your makeup if you're a lady. And then just that easy, just open it once. And again, we send 2 cards for 1 customer, because you've always got a mum, a dad, a wife, a husband, a kid, a friend, a colleague to give it to. So we're hoping acquire 2 users per 1 package, much cheaper in the long run.
Okay, that's a novel idea. So tell me again a little bit more about the tech though, because obviously to build an app, you've got cybersecurity problems, you've got data protection problems, you have to have a really robust product as well when it comes to the actual technology platform. I assume you're on Java.
So, I got asked that on LinkedIn the other day. I said, hey, Ricky, from another CEO, hey, Ricky, could you give me some explanations about your security and the security of open banking, and how can I connect my accounts and how safe they are? What's good? We've got some really good news coming soon about the FCA regulations that we are looking to have, the open banking AISP and PISP. I think a lot of people don't understand that if you want to show your number of the card within the app, or show the digits without sending it via message, it's something called PCI compliant. There's all these little regulations and laws that you have to follow. MasterCard are very stringent on that. We are very stringent. You look at our card again, we've really identified something where our card is, you look at every single card in the world. So I've got just one here, but give you an idea. Let's put it the same way. Yeah. So this is the chip side.
Yeah.
So, you turn it around and you've got all the signature panel, magstripe. Our magstripe is our technology that's still within the card, but it gives us one face for us. And on the back, we just allow you to choose the name you want. And now we're looking with MasterCard to actually have no numbers on it, because the big difference is when you've got a hack like EasyJet at the beginning of the year, they don't pay for our cards to be resent to all our customers. All the insurance doesn't cover it. So it can cost up to millions of pounds that banks have to resend. So we have debit card, like physical card, that you have no numbers on, that we're looking to now get valid by MasterCard. And then we've got our online cards. That is the one we want to educate our customers. If you want to buy Netflix, Deliveroo, use online cards. Your Apple Pay. Don't use a debit card, because we want debit cards to be like that, numberless, basically.
Okay. Where did the concept of that come from? That's quite a unique idea.
Tell me about it. Look, we've been working in banking for so long, and these are incredible features. Like we've got so many things. Like if your card is more than 100 meters away of your phone. It deactivates. We can turn contactless payments off. Things that other challenger banks have done, we've just included it now and bedded it. Like CVC, we're the only ones that generate a CVC for every payment if you want. No CVC is within the card. You can go in the app. So you've just maybe bought something, you can go and generate a new CVC. So payment can't be taken.
Okay.
That's interesting, but that's all technology that we've built from scratch and integrated with our acquirer or issuer or processor to make it work in the real world. But then you have just incredible people leaving these incredible big companies. And it doesn't matter if it's financial technology or if it's entertainment or if it's TV, they're just building, their own startups. And that's where, remember, a startup is just solving a problem of a niche problem within a big corporation. And
I think that's what people want us to think it is, though, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and I'm hoping it changes. I'm hoping that people don't see us like that because, if we talk about fintech, fintech challenger banks is one of the industries within fintech, but you've got P2P lending, loans, credit cards, reg tech, crypto now. So there's so many in there. And then within challenger banks, tell me which one's really challenging the real banks? None. I would say the only ones challenging the real banks are, I would say Starling's doing a really big step forward now, but Metro Bank, First Direct, Metro Bank, I love them. 7 days open, up to 9:30 p.m. That's a real challenger bank,
But we noticed a Land Rover drove through one of their windows just before COVID started, though. So I'm not sure about the retail experience at Metro Bank. One of the companies we have noticed, though, is Bunk. We're quite impressed with Bunk from Holland. I'm not sure you've come across them.
I do know them. Actually, very impressed with the founder, especially. I think very hands-on. Don't know him personally, just seen a few videos. I'm a big follower of the fintech industry and especially challenger banks. I think he's got some incredible features. Also, being a bank from day one, I think they're backed by ING. I think Netherlands is very advanced for that. ING with Yolt. I think they're really pushing forward and helping startups, something I envy, but we've got a great government too that backs us up.
Well, yes. Speaking of the great government, though, so you've just been press releasing about how you've got your next round of investment. Please do tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Andy, a bit late, but we actually raised this back in March, but I think the sentiment wasn't out there. It was quite negative with COVID-19, so we wanted to keep it quiet. It wasn't the best moment to launch. We were going to launch on 1st of March. And we said, look, I think let's just put our heads down, keep on developing. Instead of just launching iOS, let's get Android. Let's start with business accounts. And we've just put our head down, raised that money, and just built the team from 15 people we were to 31 now. And a funny story, actually, Andy, Thomas Cook went down last year, unfortunately. They had a travel card called the Light Card, or very similar to a travel card, LYK, Light, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So what was great about it, that we actually met the team was where I'm from, Malaga, Spain, south of Spain. And the Thomas Cook Light Card was, all the developers were down there. Thomas Cook had an office. So they were all basically
a bit of a fintech hub down there. We've heard about eBury having quite a big presence down there as well.
Yeah, they're Malaga based as well. Actually, I'm half British, half Spanish because I was born down there. I've been 10 years in London, but hearing that the Light Card was over there, I just flew over, met one, met two, met many of the developers, took on many of them from Thomas Cook, and they joined us because they were without a job. Taking developers with knowledge of the industry, of finance, it made our life much easier.
That's very fortunate. Tell me about customers, though. Yeah, I mean, obviously data is a bit different, but how is your customer acquisition strategy? How does that work? Because clearly, to have a product like yours, you need to be aggressive on the targets for growth and what have you.
So I think, look, I call them. You've got the first wave of challenger banks, right, and some really good ones. The second wave I'm trying to still analyze that second wave. We are part of that second wave. So we're challenging, the banks, but also now the challengers. We do feel that there's one dedicated to travel. The other one's just putting all your cards into one, like Apple Pay. Then you've got another one that's dedicated to open an account for migrants. Then you've got another one that's very good at mortgages. It's just, another one that does P2P messages through messages. I end up still with 7, 8, 9, plus my banks and plus my credit cards.
And then you've got Coinbase as well with a Bitcoin-backed app as well on their card. Yeah.
So our big idea was, when we wanted to build this, was to create that super app, that all-in-one app, thanks to open banking. Now, open banking, and we'll for sure discuss that in a sec, but I think about user acquisition, it's hard, right? It's not easy because the second wave. So if you look at, when basically I was part of that initial founding team at Revolut, and it was incredible to see the product launch, and we had many bugs like every startup does, but we were forgiven. Nowadays, you have one bug, no one forgives you. They just delete your app and go, oh, but this is crap.
You're not working, you haven't had anything to do with Wirecard, no?
Oh my God, no. Thank God. I think we chose very good partners, even though it's a shame to hear about Wirecard. They're a very good partner as well, but things happen, right?
A lot of services were disrupted though from other apps. Like I think Glint and a few other cards were using in the market, and there was some disruption. Unfortunately,
it was, yes. And it's a shame. But customers, it's hard to gain that customer back, right? We've had to build, imagine we've been building 18 to 20 months to get a product to be able to actually compete, at least with minimum functionalities within the market, iOS, Android.
So you started off the conversation talking a little bit about TransferWise, and we're used to hearing about TransferWise doing guerrilla marketing and coffee shops and going up to customers and saying, right, tell us what you think about this app. So tell us, how do you check your customers? How do you interact with your customers to find out if they like it or if they want different functions? Do you have any process for that?
It's, families and friends and early access users are the best, right? At the end of the day, we launched our product for first time last August I tell you what, you're almost lucky if this webinar was on 20th tomorrow, it would be 1 year tomorrow.
Almost, okay.
Almost. But we launched 20th of August last year. We made the first payment with the card. We integrated currencies. We checked Euro with the Hong Kong dollars, US dollars. We've decided to launch now just Euro GBP. So we're just fixing some other things, some interesting things we've got coming now in September, October with the currencies and its IBANs. So we've started to test for a whole year before launching. We've fixed a lot of things. We've made mistakes. I've made mistakes on the UX UI side because I'm still hands-on, very on the product, on the feel, on the brand. I want to build trust with the customers. And security and trust is our number one. So we want to make sure that, and customer support, my God. I think one of the things that challenger banks fail a lot is we want to grow, but you don't realize that growth comes with problems if you can't keep up your customer support. So it's one of the things we're putting, automating customer support, automating chargebacks, the KYC AML, super important. So yeah, we test with family, friends, and early access users.
So tell me, but you have a perfect demographic?
You mean geographically or user?
User, absolutely.
Look, a lot of people will come, but millennials, I think in this country, we're
I'd say Generation X looking at your card though, no? Surely.
Yeah. Look, I think at the end of the day, you get in with Gen X. And so look, with Gen Z and with the millennials, at the end of the day, the fluorescent, it glows, it's cool, it's, you go into a club, I want one. We've hoped to actually develop such a product that's desirable just because what it's got, and then you can connect your other banks. You don't need to open an account with us. You can just connect all your accounts with them within our app and still use us, right? So we wanted to kind of generally, organically gain them. But yes, we are looking for the older generation, because remember, in the UK, 21% are like millennials. And then you've got the other 20% that are, 45 onwards. And these are the people that are buying properties abroad using, the likes of big money transfer companies and things that, and we want to kind of, not compete against other challenger banks. They're doing an incredible job. We want to compete with money transfer companies and banks, because they're not doing a good job in listening to their user and what they want.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just going to ask you one final question though, because obviously you have come back from Spain. Have you already started to roll out your product in other countries apart from the UK?
Yeah, we're testing open banking now in not just Spain. Spain's got more banks and building societies than almost nearly any other country, with Germany. So we are looking at Italy, Germany, Portugal, France. I'm testing especially Spain because I've got Spanish banks that I'm, just eager to challenge that market because it's my home country. Plus this year, I don't know if you've heard, but banks have started to charge everyone, especially they're going into a bit of a hard crisis now. And if you don't have a minimum every month going in, they charge you 12, 13 euros a month for nothing. Mm-hmm. At least other banks, or here in the UK, they give you an insurance with it, or they give you some type of value. So we see, France, Italy, Portugal, Spain, incredible markets to expand to. And we've got the license. Our app is already in Spanish. And we're just now rolling it out in other, languages. So yeah, it's
super. So is the next stage the 1 millionth customer? Is that your next target growth area?
I'm going to be honest, Andy. I'm looking more feature-wise right now. I should be looking at users, but the idea is, you've got a good product, users will come. Mm-hmm. It's simple. Mm-hmm. The idea is it needs to just do what the others do, better, easier, and just offer a bit more. And once I get to that goal, that we're almost there, I think the users will just flop. And we've got some incredible partnerships coming now in Q3 that we will just be letting out when the time is perfect. And that will really help us gain users as well.
Super. Well, Ricky, it's been fantastic hearing about it. I wish you the best with your journey as well, because it does sound like it's a product that's very novel. And we hope to hear more from you in the future.
Yeah, I hope you're testing it and you're trying it out, Andy.
I'm just about to order one, I really am.
Take care then. Thank you so much.